FaZe Clan has just dropped more than half of its members, including people like FaZe Blaziken, former TikTok stars Bryce Hall and Taylor Holder reportedly fighting. A lot of people seem to be concerned over this video over Chrisean Rock feeding her baby, claiming that the baby is blind after there were videos of her smoking and drinking while she was pregnant, and more on today's episode of Things I See on Twitter. So 12 hours ago, the internet was just taken by storm after FaZe Blaziken tweeted, "After 9 years and 113 days, I was informed that I will no longer be in FaZe. Here are my thoughts and feelings about it." In the video, he goes on to talk about him being kicked on FaZe, his situation in FaZe. I mean, this just took the whole community by storm. We saw previously FaZe Banks on Bradley Martin's podcast talking about how he's gonna kick 90% of like the FaZe roster. He's gonna clear everyone out and they're gonna sort of just restructure and reorganize the team. This came out of nowhere. No one was expecting this, especially for a member like FaZe Blaziken. He's the OG member. He's the New York house, legendary, iconic. It's what started everything. And for someone like FaZe Blaziken, such a crucial part of FaZe. I mean, look at this picture here. These 7 people here are the most crucial and important parts of FaZe's success. And now you have FaZe Blaziken who's gone, and no one was expecting this. I mean, FaZe kicked so many OG members that have been in for over 8, 9, 10 plus years who've been in FaZe. They're just out of nowhere, just kicked. For FaZe Blaziken, it's not all bad. He didn't seem that upset about it. He goes on to speak about how he's releasing a product, caffeinated chocolate bars or chocolate balls, and it's going to be in over 3,000 Walmarts, and it's his own product. So he says he's not that upset about leaving FaZe and being kicked from FaZe because he's onto a new chapter of his life, and he kind of saw this coming. He said he tried reaching out to FaZe Apex a few months ago. He messaged him, asked him like, what's going on with me and FaZe? Word on the street was that he was getting kicked. He kind of heard about it. He asked FaZe Apex, and FaZe Apex didn't even respond. There was a lot of hate, and there's been a lot of support on both sides. You know, a lot of people, they're upset. Like, you're kicking such a OG crucial member of the team. You think FaZe Clan, you think the New York house, and he was a part of it, you know what I'm saying? He was such an important person, and he got kicked. And after FaZe Blaziken's tweet, Banks responded saying, "You're a fucking class act, and I wish you all the success in the world with your new product ventures. Congrats on Walmart, goat shit. I think you summed up everything as perfect and as honest as anybody could. And my respect for you is infinite just because you had every opportunity in this video to milk the decision to suck what lifeblood you could on your exit, just like everybody we've encountered has." It goes to show how much you actually care about FaZe. Someone responds to this saying he was one of the ones that should have been in forever. Banks goes on to respond saying one of FaZe's biggest issues is how separated everyone's been in terms of vision, value type of content, direction career is headed, and all I can really say is we feel like it's important to be clear cut about who's actively representing the brand and the way we want it to be represented. Otherwise shit is confusing, it's been all over the place, random as fuck, brand deals every other day, and people who share the name FaZe but don't watch each other, engage with each other, and sometimes even speak to each other. Lucas might as well have been a lifer, and I think he knows that it's small, so we have to get off this OG washed up glory days type energy and carve a new lane not only for ourselves but the entire industry. And FaZe Banks goes on to speak about how you have members like the Sidemen, AMP, Beta Squad who are all succeeding, and FaZe Clan isn't. They just lost what made them successful. A few friends living together, making content together. You know, FaZe Blaziken speaks in the video how he messaged FaZe Apex and he didn't respond for months. FaZe Blaziken says he doesn't speak to anyone that he used to live with in the New York days. They don't speak. And yeah, I mean, you have people that are part of this team but no one speaks to each other. They're not actually friends anymore. It looks like Banks is trimming the fat, and at the end of the day, like, as shit as it is to see this happen, it's just business. He's trying to rebuild the brand, rebuild the community, rebuild everything, bring it back after everyone's been saying for years now, FaZe is dead, they're washed up, they lost it, they're not what they used to be, and he's trying to bring that back. And obviously everyone's kind of gone their own separate ways. You can't sit there and try and get Blaziken, Apex, Tommy, Adapt, Rain all in a house together now. That's just not going to work. So I think it seems like he's going to try and get some new people together, new recruits. And Banks said that he's kicking everyone out who doesn't actively represent or even contribute much to the brand anymore. So, and it's true. I mean, FaZe Blaziken, it's not like he makes videos anymore. It's not like he's active. He's more focused on other things, and it's just business. It's not personal. That was literally just like the tip of the iceberg. After that, you had another FaZe member, FaZe Agony, who's also been in for over 10 years. He was more on like the gaming and COD side. Well, after 10 years of being in FaZe, even longer than that before, if you know, we were kicked. Unfortunate timing, someone on vacation, but I'll make a video about it. So you have another very OG member who's been in for over a decade getting kicked. Then you have Scissors as well, kicked from FaZe, breaking up with my girlfriend, new death run today, so he also got cut. You had Blue, another very OG member in the COD community sniping scene. This guy's been in FaZe for I don't even know how long, but he's such an OG member as well. No longer a part of FaZe Clan, countless memories over the last decades, so many clips, so many videos, much more love. With FaZe Clan also tweeting this video, and the video goes on to show all the members that are staying in FaZe. So it says, keep, adapt, keep Apex, Banks, keep Jev, Ksan, Nick Merckx, Replays, Ronaldo, Rug, Scope, Swag, Temper, Your Age, and Zuma. So that's all the members they're keeping. And at the end of the video, we can see in one of the last frames as well, FaZe cut member, we can see Agony, Blaze, Booyah, Seabass, Scissors, Volty or something, Flea, High Sky, J Smooth, Kale, Nate Hill, Neo Froze, Replay, Santana, Sway, Testy. So these are all the members they're kicking. And to be honest, like a lot of these guys, I don't care and I don't even know half of them. But the other half that they kicked are like OG as fuck. They've been in for literally a decade. But at the end of the day, you can't really blame them. Like it's just business. And if you look at these guys, look at their YouTube channels, they weren't contributing much to the org. They really weren't. You know, their job was to make videos and they weren't even doing that. And the videos that the ones that were making, it was just the same old shit. I think they're trying to move away from the whole gaming direction, but it doesn't make a lot of sense because they're also keeping in a lot of members like Scope, Ronaldo, Replays. If you're going to kick Blaze, then you're going to leave in Swag or Scope or some of these other people. It doesn't make sense. So I'm kind of confused as to some of the people they're kicking and some of the people they're letting stay in. This is sad to see. It's sad to see, but I'm also kind of excited. Like, let's see where this goes. Who are they going to bring into the team? Let's see if they can revive it, man. Let's see if they can revive it. A lot of people don't think they can. There were also a lot of questions as to whether FaZe Rain is still in, because obviously we can see in the screen here, keep member, but there's no mention of Rain anywhere. And when Banks got asked about that, he said Rain dipped, didn't want to be on the roster. It's all good. We're going to fix this bitch up. Homie's welcome back anytime, and he knows this. So it seems like Rain has willingly left for the time being. I don't know. Rain hasn't spoken and said anything about it. And you had some FaZe members who seem to not be taking it well. So a lot of people just tweeted saying, you know, thanking FaZe Clan for the opportunity and the time that they were in there for, and they were thankful for the fact that at least they got to be a part of it. But then you had some people held grudges, some people felt like they weren't treated the best, and some people felt like they were kind of taken advantage of and that they weren't appreciated in the clan. You had one of the FaZe members, FaZe Kali, she started crying. She was upset about being kicked. And a lot of people, you had Fakey as well. So why am I not on the list again? The guy who was a huge part of putting FaZe on the map. I didn't do it at all, but holy fuck, I contributed a shit ton, and all the OGs know I didn't give a fuck if I stopped. We all know it was a huge reason FaZe was taken off in those times. That's why the real FaZe history mentions me, not the fake ones on the site to fit today's agenda. He kept on going, joining FaZe at 20k subs when they had 10k, and repeatedly assured me that I would always be in FaZe. And then my reality of 2024 is seeing things like this. So am I in or out? Are you guys fake or real? Which one is it? Shit's ridiculous at this point. I was told in 2018 that I will always be a FaZe member and in FaZe Clan unless I did heroin or some crazy shit. FaZe Fakey is clearly upset about being kicked from FaZe. He keeps on going. We're not going to go into it. We also had one of the original owners of FaZe House Cat, like literally one of the first, like the first founder before, you know, Banks and Tommy took over. He said, I got kicked too and I started it. So I guess he's kind of letting the people know that got kicked. Like it could be a lot worse, right? The guy that started FaZe got kicked. He got kicked long before any of the success happened. He also had FaZe Banks going back and forth with Your Fellow Arab. With Your Fellow Arab tweeting, FaZe layoffs were bound to happen. FaZe ain't going to be revived though. It will never be what it was. OG FaZe will be remembered, but the internet has changed. New FaZe is going to be crypto pump, milked to the very last dollar that runs out of juice, gambling and crypto. To which FaZe Banks calls him a retard and an idiot. And they went back and forth as well. Yeah, I'm not really going to get into all that. It's not that important. But we also had a lot of FaZe members dropping videos. A lot of people were concerned that Jev might get kicked out of FaZe. I knew when I saw this go down that Jev would never get kicked. He's just way too big for them to kick him. The amount of hate they'll get for kicking the one person that pretty much never switched up. Jev also released a video, The Truth About FaZe Clan. And in the video, this is like his first time speaking publicly about any of the FaZe situations. Anytime any situation with FaZe has happened, he's always just stayed quiet. But then Jev also went and responded to this, saying how, you know, even he doesn't know what's going on. Even he doesn't speak to the people in FaZe. He doesn't speak to the owners. He's very separated from this, and that's how he wants to keep it. And he also goes on to say that he didn't disagree with a lot of the kickings. And I think it's important to note, like, the whole COD gaming scene isn't what it used to be. You know, obviously everyone knows that. It's no surprise. At the end of the day, they're a business and they're trying to revive themselves. And you're not going to sit there and try and revive your brand on something that's just dead and not going to work. They're not going to get back to where they were making FaZe gaming COD videos. That's just not going to happen. You know, they have to look at what all these other people are doing, all these other teams and groups that are succeeding, like Sidemen or AMP or Beta Squad, and they have to replicate that like they did in the New York house and the Clout house. And a lot of it just got too corporate. A lot of business stuff got involved, which kind of fucked everyone over. But I think it's important that we realize this is business. At the end of the day, there's no like feelings involved in this. No matter how much love they have for Blaziken or these other members that they lived with and they played with and that helped grow the brand to what it is, and as wrong as it is for them to kick them, it's just business. If they're not contributing to where FaZe Clan wants to go, then why keep them in? You know, obviously you have people making the argument saying, well, if they weren't contributing much and they weren't hurting the business, why not just leave them in? Which is a fair point. I don't know, to be honest. I don't really know. At the end of the day, like, you can't fault them. Like, they're trying to grow a business, they're trying to grow a brand. FaZe fell off a long time ago, they're trying to revive it. They see what the Sidemen are doing, they see what Beta Squad, they see what AMP are doing, and they're sitting here on the sidelines when these guys kind of started it, right? They started the whole, a group of friends living together, making content together and hanging out. They started that, they were the pioneers, and now they're being pushed kind of to the side because of the whole business shit in the back. And it just doesn't make sense for them to keep in a lot of the creators who are still sitting there making COD videos, getting 2,000 views a video, right? A lot of the members that they did kick, the OG members, the, you know, Kitty, Agony, fucking Blue, all these OG members that have been in for like a decade who still make gaming content. It makes sense when you look at their channel and you look at their analytics, it makes sense to why they got kicked, right? If this was 7, 8, 9 years ago, this wouldn't be as controversial as it is. Some of these guys, even though they have FaZe in their name, they're making COD videos that are getting 2,000 views a video, 3,000 views a video, some of these guys are getting. So why are you going to keep them in? So in a business aspect, it makes sense. You know, you have FaZe Blue, a very OG member from FaZe. This guy's been making videos for, you know, 12 years, 11 years, COD videos, trick shotting, hitting clips, doing all that stuff. If you look at his latest content, he hasn't uploaded a video in 4 months. And when he did, he couldn't get 10,000 views on a video. And like, I mean, what kind of content is this, right? Look at it. He's not making the thumbnails. I don't think he's probably putting a lot of effort into editing them. And he's struggling to crack 10k views on a video. He's OG. He's been in for 10 years, but is he adding much to the team? Not really. Do FaZe want to continue down this whole sniping COD thing? Not really, because it's not profitable. It's not big anymore. No one cares about it. The community is not as big as what it was. And, you know, they have to move on. You have to move on. You have another member, FaZe Kitty, another OG member who's been in for a very long time. Now, sure, he's still making videos consistently. His last upload 2 days ago, 13k views. 9 days ago, 20k views. 2 weeks ago, 16k views. You're getting 20, 30k views a video with 800k subs. And you're still kind of just making the same kind of content, and it hasn't changed at all. For the really hardcore fans who think FaZe should just stick to sniping and COD, it's wrong. But at the end of the day, they're a business, they're a brand. They have to do what's most profitable for them. And why are you going to keep in members like that, no matter how OG they are? Then you can apply that same logic to someone like, you know, Replays or some of these other people, Scope, who also don't get a lot of views. And yeah, it doesn't make sense. Some of these kickings don't make sense. Some of the people they kept don't make sense. You know, we'll see what Banks wants to do. You know, to some degree, you have to put some faith in Banks. He knows what he's doing to some extent. The New York house, the Clout house afterwards, you know, that was all him. He put the Clout house together, and then the house afterwards that he bought with Aiden Ross as well. He put Aiden Ross into a house, helped him blow up, helped his career. Banks, he does understand the social media game. You know, the whole Fortnite thing as well. He was the one who recruited Tfue at the time, who became the biggest Fortnite streamer. So to some extent, Banks has proven that he knows what he's doing in this space. He could do it. It's possible they can bring FaZe back, you know, if they sign the right people, if they get the right people going. And then FaZe Banks jumped on Aiden Ross's live stream talking about the whole situation and going into more detail about the situation as well.
This should be obvious, right? Like, anybody with half a brain knows, like, yeah, we have no issue with these people. It just does not make sense. It doesn't work. Like, this FaZe's in a spot where it was controlled by like VC corporate money who's just trying to like milk the brand for as much as they can get. So they hire people that they feel like they have to hire, and they're pumping out brand deals. And the whole thing's just been a commercial show for 4 years. So like, wipe the slate clean. Like, this is what it is. And now you got, you know, groups like AMP and Sidemen and Beta Squad. And these are like entities and cliques and brands of homies that are thriving. But it's, let's call it what it is. It's the FaZe blueprint.
How did you pick on who to choose and who to keep? That's actually what I want to know.
It's just so FaZe is at its best when it was at its peak when it was the homies around, working off each other, bouncing off each other, watching each other's videos, being involved in each other, like just with each other, bro. Like it starts there.
I don't know. Oh, FaZe Rain. What's going on with Norden?
I talked to Norden today for 3 hours on the phone, bro.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't want to like say too much because we really just talked as brothers, but that's what I'll say is like that. At the end of the day, bro, that's my brother. Like, and there's exactly, you know, 2 other people besides us who care about FaZe on the level that we care about it, and it's Tommy and Apex. You know what I'm saying? Like,
of course,
the bond that I have with these kids is on a whole different level.
I just want to know the FaZe Blaze situation.
Okay, so I'm really happy you asked about that, by the way. First of all, Blaziken, again, is my brother. I call him Blaziken because that was his OG name. And then he started rapping, switch it up.
Yeah.
Blaze. Weird. But that's my brother, right? That's my blood. At the end of the day, Lucas's content is the furthest thing from like how we want FaZe represented. I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah.
That's nothing like that's fun. There's 99.9% of content on the internet we don't like. It doesn't belong with FaZe. You know,
right?
It ain't the time we're on. We don't talk regularly. Like I haven't talked to Lucas on the phone in years. Damn. Like tough to say, but like you know, we all grew apart.
Last thing I'm gonna ask, and then after this, we're gonna lead off on a good note. They're asking about Tico.
Bro, Tico again is just like he's the homie. Like he's it's not even the homie. Like he's my brother. Like these are. Everybody we did that FaZe New York house shit with, like we all can agree, like that is like the most important pivotal moment of our lives. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what I'm trying to capture that a little piece of that. You know what I mean? Because that's where all the magic happens. Like and Tico hasn't really wanted to like engage in any of the FaZe over the last year and a half, 2 years. Like,
and yeah, I'm mixed on it. A lot of the people didn't get the recognition they deserved, but some of it's also their fault. Like, if you're sitting here just grinding COD videos day after day, getting 3,000 views, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though they were in there for 10 years, like, I don't know, I'm mixed. I'm mixed on the whole thing, but I also do get it. I do get it from a business standpoint. I get it from what he's trying to do. It's sad to see, man. But like, we kind of saw this coming. Like, we can't be surprised. They have to do something different. Nothing changes if nothing changes. You know what I'm saying? If they're just going to keep shit the same, then they're just going to keep declining. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse. They got to do something. They're going to make some kind of move. You can't fault them for trying. At the end of the day, people are sitting there saying, oh, this is the death of FaZe. But no one cares more about FaZe than Banks, Tommy, Apex, Rain. No one cares more than FaZe than those people because they're the owners of it. They started it from the beginning. They've been involved in the whole thing, the ups and downs. So no one's going to care more about FaZe than them. No one wants to see FaZe succeed more than they do. So you kind of just have to trust them and put it in their hands and see what they're going to do. Moving on, we have Bryce Hall and Taylor Holder at the bare knuckle fighting championship. Keemstar tweeted this, Bryce Hall and Taylor Holder, with a picture of them at the championship. Now we know Bryce Hall had a bare knuckle fight that he actually won, a professional fight. We know that he lost to McBroom as well. And you have Taylor Holder, who obviously he beat Deji, then he fought Gibb and lost. They're going to be fighting, and they got into a bit of a scuffle as well. And yeah, I mean, I knew that, like, obviously I'm not into the TikTok scene and these TikTokers and this and that, but I knew they didn't like each other. I knew they had beef. I didn't expect to see them actually fighting. To be honest, I thought this whole influencer fighting things kind of died down. You know what I'm saying? Are people actually going to watch this? Is there any hype behind it? Is there any interest? Is it going to be bare knuckle? Who knows if they actually end up fighting? But I know they do have a history. Like, they used to be friends and now, I don't know, they're not friends anymore. Some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? This whole influencer fighting thing's kind of like, it was like a gimmick. You know, it was fun while it lasted. It was cool. It was a new hot thing. People just want to see KSI and Jake fight. That's it. That's the only fight in the influencer fighting scene, influencer boxing, that people give a shit about. No one cares about any of this other thing, you know what I'm saying? And when they fight, they'll possibly revive the scene, and hopefully there'll be other people fighting. But those are the two biggest names in the scene. Arguably, Jake's not even in the scene anymore. You know, he's gone and fighting Mike Tyson. I think that's the only fight that people care about or want to see at all to some degree. So yeah, I didn't know this was happening, to be honest. I don't think there's any interest in it. I don't think a lot of people are going to want to see this. Who's actually going to pay for this? Is this going to be a main card, undercard? Who knows if it's actually even going to happen? And moving on to the last story, you have Chrisean Rock. I don't know how to say your name. Chrisean, something, I don't fucking know, man. Weird fucking name. There's a clip of her going viral where she's like feeding her baby, and a lot of people think that the baby's blind. A bunch of experts on the internet who can really gauge a lot just from seeing a little video seem to think that her baby is blind and possibly retarded as well, because there were clips of her smoking and drinking while she was pregnant. So we have this tweet from Drama Alert that got over 4 million views. People think that fucking whatever, man. Rock's son is blind. What 8-month-old baby sees food and doesn't grab it? Now, I don't know if all babies are supposed to all be exactly the same. But yeah, this tweet here, hey Slim, I'm starting to believe that Junior's blind, man.
Oh, just around the chicken. I'm not on the that's clear to put it.
That's the video in question, and then you have a lot of people who think the baby is blind, experts. And this has been going on for a while. You have, a comment here saying likely fetal alcohol syndrome. These are the symptoms. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm not trying to diss the baby. Something don't look right, I'll be honest. Something don't look right, don't look like no normal baby that I've ever seen, you know what I'm saying? You can see a lot in the comments, like the baby seems off, hate to say it, but he looks unwell. And yeah, it's just sad. It's just sad. Ignorance, man. She was literally drinking and smoking while she was pregnant. Like, that's crazy. So yeah, I mean, it's sad. It's genuinely, like, sad. Is it kind of fucked up that you have 4 million people watching this video and now just speculating, commenting on this shit? That's also kind of like, it's not right, but I mean, you gotta call it for what it is, man. You gotta call it for what it is. That's a bit fucked, you know what I'm saying? Something don't look right. That's been today's episode. We'll see what happens with the FaZe shit. I'll provide updates and shit